Is America really on the brink of collapse? And is the US dollar about to lose its value? Elon Musk thinks so. But what does he mean by this warning? Elon Musk delivered a stark warning about the future of the US economy. He argues that without urgent action, the nation is headed toward financial ruin, with the US dollar losing its worth. Musk's concerns are rooted in America's growing national debt, which now exceeds $36 trillion, and the ballooning interest payments that are threatening government spending on essential programs like Social Security and Medicare. Musk claims that if this continues, the country could face a future where it can no longer afford to function. Before we dive into the details of Musk's alarming prediction, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more insightful updates on economic news. Now, let's explore why Musk is sounding the alarm. Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, recently made a bold statement during his appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, warning that America could be heading toward financial collapse. According to Musk, the US faces severe economic consequences unless immediate action is taken to address its ballooning national debt. In his view, without swift intervention, the value of the US dollar could plummet, leading to dire consequences for the country and its citizens. Here's what Musk meant and why his warning is causing concern. America's national debt crisis. One of the key reasons behind Musk's warning lies in the US national debt, which has surpassed a staggering $36.17 trillion. This enormous amount is growing every day, and managing it has become an increasingly complex challenge for the government. A significant portion of this debt is tied up in interest payments, which are taking up an ever larger share of government revenue. Musk emphasized that interest payments on the national debt already make up 23% of all government income. The situation is so dire that the government's budget is at risk of becoming fully consumed by these payments. Musk warned, if we don't do something, the entire government budget will be paying interest. There won't be money for anything. There won't be any funding for Social Security, Medicare, or anything else. The growing burden of interest payments. The numbers surrounding the U.S. national debt and interest payments are sobering. In fiscal year 2024, the U.S. government paid approximately $1.13 trillion in interest on federal debt. Meanwhile, federal revenue stood at about $4.92 trillion, leaving a significant gap between what the government collects and what it owes in interest. This financial imbalance raises serious concerns about the future stability of the U.S. economy. Musk highlighted the risk that if this trend continues, the country could enter a state of financial collapse. The reality of a government budget entirely consumed by debt payments could potentially lead to an inability to fund crucial programs, including Social Security, Medicare, and other welfare initiatives that millions of Americans rely on. Can America print its way out? Musk's remarks have sparked a broader debate about whether the US government could simply print more money to avoid bankruptcy. While this may seem like a quick solution, it carries significant risks. Technically, the US government cannot file for bankruptcy in the traditional sense. However, it can continue borrowing and printing money, which may devalue the dollar over time. The danger of printing money lies in inflation. If the US government were to print more money without corresponding increases in national wealth, it could result in hyperinflation. This could render the US dollar nearly worthless, making everyday goods and services much more expensive and potentially destabilizing the global economy, which is heavily reliant on the dollar. Economists argue that while the government can keep borrowing and printing money, this will only work as long as investors continue to have faith in the US dollar. If confidence in the dollar falters, it could lead to a currency crisis, where the value of the dollar declines sharply. Musk's call for urgent action. Musk's comments highlight the urgent need to address the US government's financial challenges. He stresses that immediate action is necessary to curb the growing national debt and reduce dependence on borrowing. The country is grappling with several pressing issues, including rising interest payments, sluggish economic growth, and increasing inequality. In this context, fiscal responsibility has never been more critical, and the need for a clear path forward is paramount. However, finding effective solutions to these complex issues is no easy task. One proposed approach is to cut government spending, particularly in entitlement programs, and raise taxes to generate additional revenue. This could help alleviate some of the debt burden and slow its rapid increase. Yet, such measures often face significant political resistance, making it difficult to implement sweeping changes. Alternatively, some economists argue that substantial investments in technology and infrastructure could spark economic growth, which in turn would generate the necessary revenue to reduce the national debt. The idea is that by focusing on long-term growth drivers, The government could stimulate innovation and productivity, leading to a more robust economy and higher tax revenues. While the solutions may differ, one thing is clear. Without significant action to address the nation's financial challenges, the US faces a precarious future. Whether through fiscal austerity or growth investments, the government must take decisive steps to ensure economic stability and protect the country's financial future. The political and economic implications. Musk's warnings about America's financial future also have significant political implications. In today's deeply polarized political climate, finding a unified solution to the growing national debt seems almost impossible. On one side, lawmakers argue that reducing government spending is essential to prevent the country from spiraling into financial collapse. They emphasize the need for fiscal responsibility to avoid further debt accumulation. On the other hand, some politicians advocate for increased spending on social programs, arguing that it is crucial to support the most vulnerable Americans. This ideological divide makes finding a workable solution to the debt crisis increasingly difficult. As the debt continues to grow, the value of the US dollar is becoming another point of contention. Some economists warn that if the US does not take immediate action to stabilize its finances, it could lose its position as the world's reserve currency. The dollar has long been a cornerstone of the global economy, and its decline would have far-reaching consequences not just for the US, but for global markets. The debate over the future of the US dollar and how to address the national debt will likely intensify as the country faces mounting financial pressures. If the US fails to act swiftly, Musk's warnings may soon become a reality. The path forward. Musk's comments are a stark reminder that the US cannot continue to ignore its mounting debt. Whether or not America's economic future is truly at risk remains to be seen, but the reality is clear. The national debt cannot continue to grow at its current pace without serious consequences. For America to avoid financial collapse, it will need to make hard choices about spending, taxation, and economic growth. While there is no easy solution to this crisis, Musk's call for urgent action highlights the critical need for a national conversation about fiscal responsibility and the future of the US economy. The choices made in the coming years will determine whether the country can maintain its economic dominance or face a future where its dollar is worth nothing. Elon Musk's warning about America's financial future has sparked widespread discussions about the country's economic trajectory. As the national debt continues to grow, the US faces significant challenges in maintaining its financial stability. Musk's call for immediate action to address the debt crisis underscores the urgency of finding a solution before the consequences become irreversible. While there is no simple fix, the nation must engage in meaningful dialogue and take proactive steps to ensure that the US does not face a future where the dollar is devalued and the country is toast. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights on crucial economic topics.